Hey guys, it's Rico Murillo again, here with you with our new Contagious Leadership podcast. Our friend Lorianne is actually live with us, but not going to be on the show today, and she says hello from France. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. Listen, we're going to get into some simple things. I'm going to show you guys 5 simple hacks to get your LinkedIn profiles kicked up like overnight. And also, we're going to go into a little bit of an understanding on why you want to invest into a LinkedIn strategy and inbound versus outbound marketing. I'll be back in 30 seconds with the tips. Talk to you guys soon. All right, welcome back. Hey, listen, thanks a lot for you guys for being here and taking the time to be with us today. This is episode 63. I'm very, very excited about that as we continue to bring you guys content I hope is useful and you guys are enjoying this. So listen, here's how this works. If you are watching live, do us a favor and drop a hashtag live. Let us know you're here. I am always open to being able to answer questions when we have the opportunity. So please drop them in the comments, let me know, and I'll get into it if I have time, and I usually make time for that. But anyways, again, thanks for being here. We also want you to know that we have started putting out our new newsletter. The newsletter is a fantastic, really fast way of just getting a little insight on a past show that you may have missed, especially with all of our guests. It gives you a little bit of an introduction. We give you a few clips to watch, some highlights of the show, and then it gives you an opportunity to register for the next one. So those are going out every week. Please, if you find value in what we're doing, consider subscribing to the to the newsletter. So we'll do you a favor and we'll drop the link in the newsletter here in the comments so that you guys can see it. And we're getting a lot of really good responses from it. People like it. It's about a 3 or 4 minute read, and probably anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes of little video clips that you can watch if you want to get into it. So anyways, again, thanks for being here. So we're going to get into a few things. And let me see here. I got to get this out of the way. Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so as we get into it, I'm going to show you guys here a quick little bit of why it matters. Okay. And I love this little thumbnail. I had to add it in there. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little Rigo, the instructor. So why do you want to invest in a LinkedIn strategy? So we're going to get into this a little bit. LinkedIn's the number one most trusted social platform. Pillar did a research in 2021 too. I'm waiting to get that report. But LinkedIn has continued to rank number one. HubSpot did a great study on this as well, and they found that from lead generation, LinkedIn created a 277% higher return than using Facebook or Twitter. There is a reason why Gary Vaynerchuk, if you don't know Gary Vaynerchuk and know VaynerMedia, he is considered the top expert right now in understanding how to build a social brand, personal or company. But what's happening right now with this is understanding that there is growth potential for you, growth potential for your business. And it's really, really important that you understand that in a B2B market, there is nothing stronger than the organic reach that's happening with LinkedIn. And why does it matter? Okay, it matters because less than 1% of LinkedIn users actually create content. All right, so there's close to 400 million users. They're gaining users every 2.5 seconds. The platform is growing. If you are active on it, you've already started to see people reaching out to you, trying to sell business. but that's because it is the fastest growing, largest organic reach platform out there, which means, okay, this means is that you can start to make investment into your social content without spending dollars. That's important. If you are building a marketing strategy, if you are in the B2B realm, now that's business to business. So that can even be a B2C, which is starting to grow. But let me break it down for you. So if you're a coach, consultant, if you have a product or service, and you're working with another company. So I'm in the renewable energy industry, and we have two parts of our business. We have one part where we do strategic sourcing and consulting for a lot of clients in the industry. The other part of it is we coach, teach, and manage clients' social media strategy right here on LinkedIn. Okay. And there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. But we have found through our own work doing this for us, we went from a low 5-figure business and we turned it into a 7-figure business year over year by just using LinkedIn social media strategies. Now, this is going to be the difference between what is considered inbound versus outbound marketing. And I want to get into that a little bit here with you guys very soon. So what we're going to be talking about is just simple tips that will help you understand, hey, listen, this is how you're going to get your profile found a lot easier in a URL, SEO type search, that is search engine optimization. Okay. Why does that matter? Well, because people are still using things like Google. All right. And we want to also talk a little bit about the importance of creating content. And as a person within a business, if you are selling a product or service, if you are teaching or training, the importance of creating video. Why is it that we go live? I mean, this is a super huge focus because for a long time we were doing this really just purely out of bringing content to you guys that would hopefully be helpful, just like I'm doing right now. I'm wanting to teach and train, and I want to show you guys how you can make quick improvements. Okay. Why does that matter? Well, because outside of Google, the number 2 largest search engine on the planet, can anybody take a guess? YouTube. YouTube is the number 2 platform. And guess what's quickly coming up and is already expected in the next 1 to 2 years to be the number 1 platform that searches? TikTok. And you know what's interesting about TikTok? Also, outside of LinkedIn, TikTok is the strongest organic reach on the planet. Understand something. Yesterday's way of reaching your client and building your brand as an industry, as a corporation, as an individual used to be done through different means, through a lot of outbound strategy. Okay. Today's industries require personal branding, and it requires you to create that personal branding in social media. That's where it is. Today's social media is yesterday's TV. And yesterday's current marketing aspects, TV and other outbound type strategies is basically today's radio. These are the things that you really want to understand, especially as millennials are now becoming the powerhouse. And in the next 2 years, as the baby boomers phase out and the the Gen Xers like myself, okay, as we start to get into that point where we're going to become that last generation phasing out, the millennials and the Gen Zers are the strongest buying power in the market. 83% of millennials will make a decision on who they work with based on, can you guess this? Based on their personal brand. Okay. So if you understand how important that is, then you have to understand, well, then how do I create it? And over the next couple of years, especially as we're starting to see some things happening with our economy, the Fed just released, here we go, right? Numbers are going up. It's going to continue to do that. We're going to see some changes. We'll have another presidential race. Everything's going to shift around. Forbes just put out a report. I had it up actually the other day, and I still need to finish that post. but they've already predicted 100% we're walking into recession by Q2. Now, we're already in one in the United States. If you understand global economics, then you know that we're already in one, but they're not going to announce it. But we are moving into this by next year. What's that mean for you if you're a small business? Well, number one, people are pulling back. If you're right now working out there trying to get services and products out there, if you're trying to work with potential clients, you're already seeing that budgets are going back. Everybody's pulling back. So what happens if you're an organization and you have a sales team? You need to get them still in front of people. Sales is the only way you're going to stay in business. Your marketing efforts support and get in front of your salespeople. Your marketing efforts reinforce the brand. But your individuals, how do they understand how to continue building relationship, creating trust, and making those connections if they can't get out in front of people? This is the question. And these are the things that companies can no longer ignore. You see, today's relationships are created right here through a social setting. There's a phrase I've heard in it, I love it, and it talks about where we are right now. This method is a digitization of your reputation. Okay? This particular aspect doesn't change how we do business. We're still wanting to get people in a face-to-face, no matter what. It's important. But we need to be able to still create that trust and understand how to bring those people in. So I want to work with you here a little bit, and I want to show you a little video that my team created. Really proud of them for this. But this is going to explain to you the difference between an inbound and outbound strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it. Go ahead and play this here real quick. All right, so inbound marketing versus outbound marketing, okay? So in an inbound marketing, it relies specifically on earning people's interest instead of buying it, versus outbound that pushes products or services on customers, okay? So like a commercial or a magazine ad. Okay, so here's where you're looking at, the communication is interactive and two-way. Outbound marketing communication is one way. Inbound marketing, customers come to you, search engines, referrals, social media. Outbound marketing, customers are sought out. Email distribution, cold calls, magazines, DMs if you're getting them, all of these horrible, hey, I think you're the right person, we should talk. It's a whole nother show. Inbound marketing seeks to educate or entertain. Outbound marketing rarely seeks this, okay? In an inbound marketing strategy, marketing provides value. Outbound marketing provides little to no added value. Why is that? Well, because they're using a money to get in front of you, powered by creativity, talent, and effort. There it is right there. Outbound marketing powered by budget and repetition. So what we do at MW Partners, we focus on organic marketing. So we help you create value, entertain, educate your market so that they seek you out without spending money in outbound marketing strategies. We're not saying that outbound is not important, but we are saying that attention is today's currency. So we wanted to show you that because we hope that that little cartoon really helped you understand the difference. So let's say, for instance, I want to create an outbound strategy. I want to get an email list. Well, how do you get an email list of people that actually want to hear from you? So we talked about our newsletter. Okay, that newsletter is a perfect example of it. So we're gaining about 100 subscribers a week right now. We just released it. We've loved the growth that's happening, but guess what? You see, we are giving value in that newsletter. We're introducing people to leaders, mentors, other entrepreneurs. We're introducing them to content. So we're educating, we're entertaining. And the only thing we're asking in return is if you find value, please sign up so that we can send you this material. So maybe we're asking for your information, but we're going to give you something in return. We're not just going to take, we're going to offer. And we're going to continue to offer and give things to you so that way you continue to find value, and you start to create a trust level with us. So then we can move into a different phase of the relationship. This is the importance of social strategy and the tactics here within LinkedIn. So I'm going to get into a few points. So here, point number one is going to be your profile URL. So if you go to your main profile, and I'm going to show you my screen here in a second. All right, let's see if I can do this. All right. If you go here to the profile, okay, you're going to see right up here on the top, you're going to see edit or customize your URL. As you can see here, let me see if I can zoom in on this. No, I can't. But right here, you see how it says linkedin.com, and I have my name, Rigoberto-Murillo. How many of you have a number or code or something in the back? Why is this important? Why does this matter? Okay. Well, the reason why it matters is because if you don't have your URL properly searched, or edited, people can't even find you. So here's the coolest part about LinkedIn. Unlike most of the other platforms, LinkedIn was built originally on this backbone platform of helping people hire and get hired. And so this is an important aspect to understand too, knowing where you're at. In fact, if you want to understand more on how to build this up, we had an amazing conversation with a good buddy of mine named David. In fact, Anita, if you can do me a favor, drop the link in the comments for somebody who needs to understand the difference and how to build their profile if you are searching for jobs. We're going to put that in there. Today's focus is if you are creating your business and those hacks. But if you're looking to be hired, there's a completely different way of structuring your profile. And David Alto did a great job explaining that on one of these podcasts that we did a few months back. So we'll go ahead and get that posted for you so you guys can watch it. Real quick, I'm going to take a second here and make sure that you guys understand how to follow me and how to continue getting information on this content. Hopefully you're getting value out of this. And if you are, do us a favor. Just go to my profile. You can go into the more section right there and click follow. And if you really want to connect with us, by all means, send me a connection request. I'm happy to do so. But why does that matter? Well, because that way you get notified. And LinkedIn actually just released a new update. And if you go to the top right of anybody's profile, there's a little bell. And you can say, hey, listen, I want to get more content from this person. I want to see more. I want to hear more. So I'm going to go ahead and place a notification that says, I want to know every time this person posts, or I just want to know the top on when it posts. It's a really great update. I love that, especially if you like content that somebody puts out. So make sure to check that out. But anyways, when we get into understanding why this URL change matters, if you go to your profile right now, you go to home, go to your profile, and what you will notice, and we've seen this with so many of our clients, that URL is usually a number. It was generic. It was created the first time they made their account. So guess what? When somebody searches you, you will not be found through your LinkedIn profile. If you are in business today, and especially if you are in a B2B, if you're working with your business to help someone else's business, I don't care if that's a coaching, consulting, products or services, any sort of field, like pretty much unless you have a storefront and you're selling goods and services that way, like, a brick and mortar. And even today that's changing, but that's a little bit different. It's a different strategy. But if you have a business to help someone else's business grow, okay, so we help people with lead generation, grow their sales, their branding, and essentially become noticed by the market. That's an important aspect to understand, that if you want to get noticed, somebody's going to Google you. If you do this right now, and I want to challenge you, go ahead and Google my name. Google Rigoberto Murillo. And what you're going to find is a lot of different searches that pop up. And guess what? Outside of a semi-good looking fictional character from a Mexican soap opera, and his name is Rigoberto Murillo, the majority of that search is going to pop up me. I'm the first, second, and third that will pop up. You're going to see articles I've done. You're going to see our live podcast. You're going to see my LinkedIn profile more than once. Why does that matter? Someone wants to know who I am. I want to bring them here. I want them to understand me, and I want them to build on this personal profile, my personal brand, so they can understand who I am, and then they can understand what we're doing and how our company serves. If your name is not fixed right there, they can't find you. It's hack number one. It's as simple as it gets. Okay, editing your URL. Let me go to the next one here, and I'm going to go ahead and let's see if this one works. All right. Clear this real quick. Stupid messenger. All right, so now you've got the URL fixed. What's the next piece? All right, do you see how it says, well, let me go back to the home screen. Pay no attention to the live that's happening at the exact same time. Okay, so if you look here, the next piece that I want to show you guys is going to be the resources area. So a lot of people don't even understand this, and they don't understand why the resources is so important. Okay, so if you go to resources here, you'll see that I have creator mode on. So what's creator mode? You can see here, see these analytics? 491 people have viewed my profile. I've got 4,300 post impressions. Why does that matter? That matters because I have turned on creator mode. You go here into this section, you go into creator mode and you turn it on. What does creator mode allow you to do? Creator mode allows you to use creator tools, LinkedIn Live, audio event, newsletter, following tools. So let's say you're trying to recruit. If you're a recruiter, this is massively important because you know that you're speaking to people that aren't generally going to be able to make a whole lot of indication that they're looking for a job, especially if they're working for a competitive company. So if you're with an organization and your job is to go recruit, you need to make it as simple as possible for somebody to follow you without having to send out a request. You see, a lot of people have a hard time with that. That becomes very difficult for them. But if you allow them just to be able to follow you without having to request you to approve them, you make it a lot simpler. The same thing goes for a business. If you have a business where you're sending services out and you're trying to attract, you don't want to make it difficult for people to follow your content. You don't want to make it difficult for people to see what's going on. You have to build a relationship and a trust first. Remember, there is nothing different than going out in front of somebody at a conference or getting a meeting and sitting in front of this team, in their location and creating that first impression and second impressions. And as you get through this happens right here. Remember, social media is just digitization of your reputation. There's nothing different. So don't overthink it. That's one of the biggest things we see. People always try to overthink it. So here, as you get into creator mode, it also allows you to create some topics that you talk about: strategy, lead generation, content marketing, entrepreneurship, thought leadership. Those are mine. I can change those anytime I want. Those 5 hashtags allow me to connect with others who are interested in the same information. All right, so tip number 2 was getting those creator tools turned on. Why? Because you want to be able to have that access. Here's something that I think you would be very interested to know. And this has grown in the last few months. But as of earlier this year, there was less than 200,000 out of 400 million, you guys. Less than 200,000 people had LinkedIn Live. You want to know how to get in front of your competition? I don't care how bad your LinkedIn Live goes. I don't care if you're good at it or not. There is no better way than starting to create content and put it out there. Doing what we're doing just like this. Just going live, answering questions, maybe talking about a new product or service. Don't worry about if anybody's watching. I don't care. We do this every week, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Time. I got Lorianne watching in France, getting ready to go to dinner with her hubby, right? Why isn't she here? I don't know. We'll talk to her about that later, right? I can see her giggling, right? But check it out. She is in the other side of the world, across the pond, watching this content right now, and so could anybody else that you want to influence or contact. Then this content becomes reusable. Now I can take it, I can put it into a newsletter. I can create small bits off of this. Maybe I say something genius and all of a sudden I have a fancy and a great quote. Now I got a quote I can put out there. Okay, are you guys getting the importance of this? So, bonjour, Laureate. So when you are going out and trying to break in or build your personal brand, the importance of understanding these simple tools are going to matter. So tip number one, okay, was getting in and editing your public profile and URL. Super important, okay? Tip number two is getting your resources turned down. That means getting your creator aspect turned on. All right, so the next one, tip number three, is your featured section. And if you're not seeing this in your featured section, that's likely because you don't have your creator mode on, or, sorry about that. Or what you haven't done is gone into the settings and added them, okay? And so that would be here in the section here where you're gonna go in and you're gonna add information. You're gonna add contact info. You're gonna add websites, stuff like that, and you're gonna build up your featured section. Now, why does this matter? Because these are the first things that people can see. So here we have what? We have the newsletter. So here you go. You can come in, you can go, you can check out the newsletter. This one was posted yesterday. Get into the newsletter. Look at this. Great. Okay. 409 subscribers. Great. I can't believe it's gone that quick, and I'm excited. One day it'll be 4,000. Then it'll be 40. Then it'll be 400. Why not? If the content is good, it'll continue to grow. So we make it very short, very sweet, simple. Now for people who like to read and maybe don't want to watch this entire program, everything's right there. And how did we do that? We did that by going live. I hope you guys are understanding, like when people are struggling with this aspect, like, I don't know how to create content. How about you just talk about what you do, talk about what you like. Now you have a video. Now you can turn it into a newsletter. You can write it up, do it once a month. And once you get really good at it, do it twice a month. Then maybe once a week. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be doing this daily. My team's like, oh, no. All right, so let me go back here and I'm going to go back to the tips as we were just discussing. And again, real quick, listen, if you haven't already done this, we want you to join our community. I'm going to take a second here just to kind of remind you about that. And why does this matter? That's because we want to be able to give you notice. We really, really, really want to continue pushing this, and hopefully we can start adding even more value. You join our community by texting lunch to 316-799-8052. That's 316-799-8052. Donnie, if you can put that up for us, I appreciate it. Oh, thank you very much. I'm looking at the wrong board. And what that does is gives you a notification. We send out a notice. Hey, by the way, we're going live. Did you like the communication, right? Any sort of free value that we're going to be putting out. Maybe we text once or twice. Well, we do at least once a week, maybe twice a week. We really don't use that for anything other than notifying you, and you can pick which things you want to be notified about or not. Here's the greatest part about community. I promise you guys this. We don't know the information. It's all private, and it does communicate right to me, right to my cell phone. And it's a direct connection with me. And if you want to join that way, but it protects my privacy as well. So okay, so I don't get a bunch of spam calls on my actual cell phone number. So, hey, listen, your privacy matters, so does mine. All right, so also, if you haven't already done so, if you find any value in this content, do me a favor, please go ahead and click the follow button. Here, you can go ahead and connect with me that way, or more important, at least get notified when I am going live. Oop, hit the wrong button. Okay. So we're going to get back into this. Okay, where are we? So we did tip number 1. We did tip number 2. The resources. Now tip number 3, the featured section. So look how cool this is. Here we can come in. I can add a post. I can add a newsletter. I can add an article. I can add a link. I can add any type of media. All right, so let's say, for instance, like you have here. There's an article, there's a link to my Calendly. If somebody wants to work with us and wants to set up a call, okay, here's a different video I've done. If there's any sort of content that you want to be able to put here, here's how you start to really explain what it is that you do. And we're going to get into this a little bit more here in a second, because that's going to come into one of the most powerful tips I think that you can use as you come into LinkedIn and understanding what to put here. And that'll be tip number 5. We're going to get into that. But in tip number 3, in your featured section, this is one of the greatest ways to really help somebody understand what it is that you want to offer. So for us, right, we're offering teaching, content, information. Why does that matter? Because we want people to get value by following. You understand? I want people to get value by following. And as our organization continues to grow and we start to add more services, I'll start to put those services there. And so that way you can find them. And it's very simple. You go in, you click on it, and now all of a sudden that's available for you. All right, so I'm going to go into the next tip, and that is going to be your contact information. Now, why does this matter? Because I can almost promise you right now, your contact information is completely out of date. And if you go here, you're going to find the profile, like we talked about, screwed up. You're going to see that your email is probably the email that you set up. Here's the thing. You don't have to lose your personal email. So I know a lot of times people go, I don't want to put my company email in there because what happens if I'm not working with this company anymore? Okay. Well, if I'm not working with the company anymore, then I lose my connection. No, you can add emails and you can decide to use a different email that people see. It doesn't remove your original email. You'll never lose that. Okay. But you can set a different as a primary. That way you can stay engaged. But you want to update your email. How do people get a hold of you? A number. How can people reach you? Okay. What information do you want out there? Any websites, any particular URLs that you want accessible? Anything that you want to put in there. But do me a favor, go check your own profile. I promise you, half of you never changed it from the first time that you got started. We see this all the time. Even with experienced folks, we see this all the time. So the problem is how can you expect somebody to reach out to you and contact you and want to do business with you if you can't even give them a way to reach you? So this should be a very simple process. If you like the content I'm doing and you go into my profile, you should be able to see more content. You should be able to see videos that we've done. You should be able to go in and find how to set up a meeting with me, how to send me an email. So if I'm attracting you, you should be able to reach out to me. Otherwise, what's the point? And if you're just regurgitating information, your corporation puts out a post and you just reshare and you have no context to it, you have nothing that's built into it, then what value do you serve? So you want to think about it this way. When you're posting, right, is this something you would read? Because if it's not something you would read, then why are you posting it? Just throwing that out there. If you don't find it interesting, why would anybody else find it interesting? So Paul, just to kind of fill you in on, I see a question for you. When Community is going international? I don't know. Contact them. Let them know. It's not my software. I don't know. I can't help you on that one. But right now it's just in North America. So it's just Canada and the US. I'd like it to go international as well. We have a lot of international folks that can't connect that way. But we do have email distribution. And if you'd like to get notified through email, by all means, sign up. One of the best ways to do that is actually get connected with the newsletter. And the newsletter from LinkedIn will automatically send you an email every Wednesday. It'll tell you about what's going on, the content. We'll have everything built in there. It'll also give you the opportunity to get scheduled for the next event that happens every Thursday. All right. So one of the last things that I want to be able to show you guys is something very powerful, and that is the power of Google. So if you want to understand how you can clarify your question, like, how do I tell my client right now? How do I understand what kind of posts to put out there? Okay. then I'm going to show you the number one hack that will absolutely give you the exact method on how to do this. Let me go ahead and share, and that's using Google. All right, so I'm going to put in here, what is inbound lead generation? So just like this, I get a list of questions that pops up. What is inbound and outbound lead generation? What is the meaning of inbound leads? Okay. What is inbound lead generation strategy? How do you get inbound leads? What is lead generation job description? I want you guys to see something. I don't know if you can because my face is in the way. So let me show you guys the full screen. But if you look here, this was 10.7 million results. 10.7 million in that search. And so what did that do? That gave you that out of 10.7 million searches, people are putting this in 10.7 million times. These are the questions they're asking. What is inbound and outbound lead generation? Why do you think we did a video? And by the way, you guys got a little preview. It hasn't been completed yet. It still needs voiceover and everything else. But why do you think we did it with that video? That video explains what? The difference between inbound and outbound marketing. Because that's one of the number one things people are asking out of 10.7 million requests. So when you look at your business, what is it that you do? How do you serve? How do you solve the problem? You want to understand what to talk about? You want to know how to get your content grabbed? Just go do a Google search. And here you go. Here's everything you need to know. And you can go see what other people have done. It's really not that complicated. And all it takes, and we tell people this all the time, is consistency and frequency. That's it. You want to continue posting. You want to be doing this at least 3 to 5 times a week. You post 3 to 5 times a week, you're already in the 1%. Now, when you're ready to take it to the next level, that's when you start to really see the difference, and you will absolutely notice it where it counts, because you will start to create a lot of different attention to what it is that you're doing. And if you consistently stay in front, you will start to build the relationships that matter, because people will get to trust you. Now, we go through a lot of this in our training, and that's one of the things that I wanted to put up. Google is everyone's digital Bible. Listen, it's the number one strongest search engine on the planet. We're fools if we're not using the tools that are out there to help strengthen your personal presence and building your personal brand. And your personal brand matters because people buy people first. And they're only going to buy from you if they can trust you. Even if you have a reputable company that you're working for, relationships will always matter. They will always play a part in a buying decision. Value also has to be there, but a relationship does matter. So how do you build that relationship? At the very least, how do you ensure that the value you're providing is recognizable? And that's by building your personal brand. That reinforces your company's brand. So the things that you're into, who are you? Are you married? Are you not married? Do you have children? Do you not have like, what about your life are you willing to share? And here's the greatest thing about social media. You can be as private as you want or not. It's up to you. You don't have to share everything. Don't let anybody fool you otherwise. But make no mistake, LinkedIn today is where Facebook was in 2010 and 11. If you think that yesterday's 4 or 5 years ago LinkedIn, where it was very, you remember the GIF where you see the different versions and the different social platforms, and you have your LinkedIn profile. That's not today's LinkedIn. And in the next 12 to 24 months, it is going to continue to change. And if you are an organization trying to build your sales, if you're trying to create leads, and you're trying to help your sales team create a different method of generating leads. And if you're not grabbing a hold of this, in a couple years, it'll only be a pay to play and you will lose the opportunity right now to gain organic presence. It is not a matter of if, it's just when. It's already starting. It has already started. And many, many, many individuals like myself have learned how to create 7- and 8-figure businesses just by utilizing this platform for their company. Listen, so we've created a program for this. I don't normally talk about this a lot with you guys publicly, but I want to let you know we do have one. We have a 20-day program that helps basically get you ready and positions you perfectly to understand how to leverage LinkedIn, how to create content on a daily basis, how to simply do it, and basically how to turn your personal profile into a brand that will help strengthen the company you work for or your own business and get you out there. That is just the entry level of what we can do to help you. If you have an interest in it in any way, go to my profile, set up a meeting with me. It's a 15-minute call. It's free. I'll run you through and we'll see if we're the right program for you. It's that simple. Okay. If we are, we are. If we're not, we're not. We've made everything affordable in what we do. And we've turned our entire program into a process where we can take care of or support your entire marketing strategies for less than the cost of an admin on an annual basis. So as little or as much as you want. Our clients are very happy with us. We've done a lot in this industry and others, but more importantly, we want to help you grow your business. Okay, so, all right, let me go back here real quick. I'm going to do one more run through just to kind of share with you guys again what's going on. Okay, so let me do the picture in picture one. All right, so number one, profile, URL. Okay, get that updated right away. Get your name in there, set it up. Oh, here's another thing. You want to build a brand name? You want to add your company to it? You could do that too. I could say Rigoberto Murillo, and I could say MW Partners after, if that's what I wanted on top of it. So if you work for, Acme, you could say John Smith -Acme. And so now if somebody searches Acme or searches John Smith, of course, those are the worst. You're never going to get found. If you're a John Smith and you work for Acme, I'm sorry, you're screwed. But anyways, URL, number one, to make sure that you get noticed is super, super important. Okay. Also, you want to be able to get in and understand how you're being positioned. And so that's in your creator mode. Go to your resources, go show all 6, turn your creator mode on, and then you will find out once you get everything turned on, if these things are available for you. And if they are, that's a whole different class on how to use it, but it's really not that hard. LinkedIn does an amazing job at teaching this information if you just go look for it. But that'll turn on your LinkedIn Live, audio events, newsletters, follow tools, everything else. The next piece that is important for you to understand is your featured section. Go in your settings, turn that on. Now you can start adding elements to it. You could add articles or content from your company that you work for. You can put in sales videos or promotional videos that have been created, any sort of marketing content. You can set up your calendar tool, whatever you're using to set up an appointment to talk with you. You can put in your products and services in there, put in a one sheet, whatever it is. Create your sales profile. If you're in sales, if you're working in business development, build it right there. Give people the opportunity to see how you engage, what you talk about, your content, everything else you do. It's right there. And you're overthinking this if you're not using it, because this is better than any business card out there. All right. The next piece is understanding how to get your contact information updated. Remember, you go into your settings, little pencil, scroll down, edit contact info, go in there. Please make sure that that's updated. That's the worst. And you want to know why people aren't reaching out? Well, have you given them a reason to? So if you think that social media is not working for you, if you don't have an ROI, if you want to understand where the ROI is, then let me explain something. Number one, it's because you don't know how to use it. Okay? You don't know how to use it. The ROI, I love what Gary Vaynerchuk says this, but the ROI of a basketball in LeBron James' hand is worth billions or millions, whatever it is now. The ROI of a basketball for me is worthless. But LinkedIn is a 7-figure ROI. Why do I know that? Because I've done it. We're building it. I know the return. The difference is I'm understanding how to use it. If you're not getting a return on social strategies or social media, you don't know what you're doing. It's that simple. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. But you can learn. And there's so many great programs out there like ours. And there's others that are different. We're not the only one. We have an incredible program. I love what we do, but it's about you finding the solution that works for you. Okay. So we've gone through that profile URL, the featured section, resources, contact, and of course, last but not least, knowing how to put the content on your profile. And that's using Google as your powerful search engine. So anyways, these are just 5 simple little hacks. These are literally basic, but maybe they weren't basic for you. These are some of the most commonly found issues with all of our clients. We've helped hundreds of people through this process. And the crazy part about this is that we see the same issue constantly because most people create their LinkedIn profile and then we're working with them and we say, we're going to be focused on LinkedIn. And we're like, well, I don't really use LinkedIn. I built a LinkedIn once. I haven't been on it in a long time. So I'm going to answer a real quick question. What's the best streaming tool for LinkedIn Live? There are 2 that work very well. We're actually putting together a program for this. Donnie will be giving you guys the opportunity to learn right from the master himself. But there are 2. So there's Restream, which we're using today. We like Restream because it allows us to connect with other individuals where they can post. So we have a paid service. It's not very expensive, but it allows us to get other people who don't have a paid service. They can have a free account and it allows them to also post to their account. So like Lorianne's is going live right now on Lorianne's page. That's one of the power points of Restream that we enjoy. But there's also StreamYard. So if you're an individual and you're doing things on your own, that's really, really great as well. Both of them are about the same in cost. Most of the time, you can do everything you need to do for free without having to pay for it. That's the powerful piece. So if you're wanting to go live on LinkedIn, you have Restream and you have StreamYard. There's a more advanced process. Like right now I'm using OBS. OBS is another software that's free. And then here you can create virtual profiles or a virtual camera. So I'm working this system right here on my monitor and I'm jumping back and forth because I've created all these virtual pieces of media or content. Okay, so I can set up separate cameras, all that other stuff. And then all of this is being broadcasted to Restream. So simple. It sounds complicated. I promise you it's not. If you guys need help with that, let us know. We are building a course, and if you're interested in it, we'll let you know. And we'll show you all the tools we use, how to do it, how we get 10, 12,000 different people to hit our events when we put these events out all the time. Why does that matter? Because over the last few months, I've had 1 million people see my pieces of content. Doesn't mean I have 1 million followers, but if I have 1 million people seeing my content, you guys, it's just going to be easier for me to sell a product or service if more people are seeing it, they're talking about it, maybe they're sharing it with somebody they know, and I'm influencing. And that's what you want. Like I talked about, repetition, frequency, that's what matters. And you want to be able to what? Educate, entertain, add value. That's it. Stop thinking about what you want. Start giving. People come to you. That's it, you guys. Real simple. That's all I got. Donnie, let's get this wrapped up. Listen, you guys, again, we'd love to stay in touch with you. So let us know. I really, really, really want to be able to help you guys out in any way we can. I want to see you be a part of our community. I'd love to get you into our brand new platform that we use through a company called School. This is our Contagious Leadership courses. Here's where we're doing a lot of training, sales training, content training, everything else. And we're getting ready to launch a free version. But if you'd like to know how you can get daily coaching, weekly coaching, and how you can get access to all of our training that we'll be putting out every month, all year, especially in 2023, we're going to be giving people the opportunity to get on now and gain access all through 2023. in 2022, if you want to know more about it, please do me a favor. Go to my profile, set it up. Again, and if you haven't followed me, I'm going to do this one more time. Go into my profile, go to more, click follow, and you can also go right down in there and set up a 15-minute quick call where I'll sit with you. I'll show you what we're doing and how we're doing it. And if you want to really level up in 2023, for the rest of 2022, we will be offering a pretty amazing deal where for the price of a month, you'll get access for the rest of the year. And then as we get into 2023, it's going to be back to a monthly type of a program. So we just want to get a big push at, end of year and like anything else. But now's the time to do it. And we're hoping that you want to see a difference and build your business, and you want to see this happen in less than 30 days. We will show you how to do it because it's a 20-day program. You'll see it in a week. It's crazy. Promise. All right, guys, that's it. Be blessed. I'm Rigo Murillo, and I am glad you're here, but I'm out. Have a great rest of your week.